Hi, this is James with Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Children of Morta, which is a 1 to 4 player game published by Lucky Duck Games. In this game, you're going to be playing cooperatively as the Bergson family, similar to the video game. We're going to be playing through a story here, and you're going to try to fight back the darkness to protect Rhea. Now, there's going to be 2 modes to this game. There's a story mode, and then there's like a family trial mode here. The family trial mode, you're just going to go through sequence events and fight some bosses, and it's more like a one-shot. But the game core is really in the story mode. And it's going to go through, I believe, 6 chapters here, and you're going to go through and level up your character, which get permanent level ups and all sorts of fun little bonuses that you're going to get between chapters, and really progress your characters, create the bonds between your characters, and really experience a game like the video game. So let's go ahead down to the table here. I'm going to give you a really brief overview of how to play this game so you just get the general idea, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Alright, so this is the Children of Morta. In a mystical realm of Rhea, where the shadows dance, with secrets and ancient evils stir, a family of guardians known as the Bergson has stood as the bulwark against encroaching darkness for generations. Bound by blood and duty, each member of Bergson family possesses unique talents and strengths honed through years of training and sacrifice. As the corruption spreads like plague across the land, threatening to consume all in its path, the fate of Rhea rests in the hands of those courageous guardians. Will they rise to the challenge and vanquish the darkness, or will Rhea succumb to its malevolent grasp? The answer lies within the hearts of the Bergsons and the choices made during their perilous journey. Now, this game has 2 different modes. It has a story mode and a family trial mode. Both of these can be played solo, but the biggest difference is when you're playing through the story mode, you're going to be going through this story book. When you're playing through the trial mode, you're going to be facing bosses and a sequence of events there. And so the family mode is going to be more of like a one-shot, and the story mode is going to be where you go through the story, and you can actually save your progress as the game goes by. So I'm going to give you a really quick overview of this game, just get the idea of how it plays. But what you're going to do is you have 5 different tokens that you can have, and you're going to put a set of 5 of them in for each of your players to start the game, and into this bag. And this is going to be your starting bag. And when you're going through the story mode, this bag is going to have different things go into it that are going to hinder you and help you throughout the game. So you're going to be drawing 5 of these each of your turns, and those are going to be what you're going to use to perform your different actions. So in essence, this is a bag building game. Now, what you're going to run into when you run the first section or story is going to be that you don't have certain things in the game yet. You have the easy enemies, you don't have your bonds set up yet. These are later on give you really cool sort of things that you can do to increase your bonds between your players there, to give you all sorts of cool advantages as the game goes by. And like I said, you'll have the easy enemies, you have the easy board, and this really sort of eases you into the game. So the story mode is the best way of learning the game, I think, in my opinion. Now, what you're going to be doing is you're going to set it up according to the setup here, and the most important thing is going to be your objective for the game. So the objective for this round here is going to be to get to this location. That's all you're going to need to do. Sometimes it's defeating a boss, sometimes it's doing some other things, but either way, you need to complete the objective. So the 2 things that can happen is to end a run here, which is going to be the chapter that you're playing here, or the page in the chapter, is going to be either one of your characters becomes overwhelmed with monsters, or you lose all your health. So how do you become overwhelmed with monsters? Well, you have these 6 slots across the top here, And if those become full, you become overwhelmed with monsters. If your health track, which is this top track here, ever gets down to the bottom here, you're knocked out and you lose the chapter. If you meet the goal, you win the chapter. You go here. Either way, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. You're still going to go back to your house to rest and be able to buy these advanced tokens to put in the bag, or get some of these really cool, and each player has their own little set of advanced actions that they can use experience points that they gain through the round to level up their characters. You also get these really cool little decks of cards here that are just for the character. And the big thing is whether you're going to progress or not. So if you didn't complete this, you're not going to progress to the next section. You'll just have to redo the run again. But you're a little bit more powerful. You're a little more better off. And sort of just like the video game. Just in a board game form. Well, anyhow, a couple other things to point out is each of the players has unique abilities. And when you roll crits on these dice, which you do in combat, they're going to give you different things. So in this case, you're going to gain more time. At the start of the first chapter, you get 1 time, because that's what it tells you in the setup for this character. But this character will give you a shield. Now, one thing to mention is shields and feat here, evades, are the same thing. They basically, what they're doing is you can use these to absorb damage instead of taking the damage directly onto your health. So that's the biggest point that they exist for. Now, what do? Well, each game you're going to go through multiple different rounds. The first thing you're going to do to start this is you're going to need to go to a location. So you're going to follow this path. You don't actually have to complete all of these locations. Like, technically, I go here, and skip this, but fighting these monsters is what you're going to get experience for and all sorts of other things that can happen. At the start of the first chapter, John is the lead character. However, if you're not playing with John, there's 3 other characters that you can play with in the game here. It goes to the oldest player. But what does the leader mean? And you can switch this off as time goes by throughout the game, but the leader means that when you go to a location, so we're going to go here and we flip these tiles, which there's 2 of them here, the one with the highest number, in this case, this 4 here, is going to go after the leader, and then this one goes after all the others. So what this one here means is I'm going to get 2 monsters spawn and a coin. So 2 monsters are going to come to me, and coins are used to purchase advanced tokens and other things when you rest, but I'm going to get 2 monsters. And everyone else is going to get 1. The thing you're going to look at on the monsters is to see where it spawns, either on the far right or far left, depending on where this square is. So they're all going to spawn on the far right. This matters for a couple different reasons. The biggest reason is because these 3 slots right here are ranged, and these 3 slots are melee. Now, ranged characters can attack you the entire time. But melee characters, and this one is starting off as easy because it's the first chapter, they're going to start in a ranged area. They can't actually attack you. They won't be able to attack you until the next round after cleanup here when they move all the way down. Now, after you have explored your location, so you do your encounter, you're going to do combat and then cleanup. So for combat, what's going to happen is going to be each player is going to take their turn, and they're going to draw out of the bag 5 tokens. And these tokens have different symbols on them. And you will draw up to, so if you actually held on to a couple of these for one reason or another, you're not going to have more than 5. You'll just draw up to 5. And you're going to use these to power up your different abilities on the board here. So they're going to be, like, see, some of these do attack. Some of them are going to give you these cool tokens like this. And you can use these tokens to roll dice during combat, more dice. And the more of these you spend, the better dice you get. So the green die is the weakest. Then you can spend 2 of these to get a yellow die, which is next one up. And you can spend 3 of these to get the purple die, which is the strongest die when you're rolling. But that's if I spent a green here. Now, for some reason here, let's say, what color am I missing? Purple. I don't have any purple, and I wanted to go here. I can spend 2 of any of these and activate that, and this one gives me an extra time. The other way I could do it is I can spend one of my special action tile thingies here, and you get 3 of these when you start the game here, and they can be refreshed by different means, but you can spend these. So I can take these, and let's say I wanted to do that, I can spend it for that. One of the other things to watch out for, some of them are combined where you have to spend both to be able to do it, like Heaven's Strike here. And some in this guy here, they're combined, so I have to put resources here and here, but also some of them cost time. Like if I wanted to put something here, okay, so I don't have anything, I could just spend another one of these. This is probably reckless here at this point, but I could spend a time and a resource, and then I can do get 2 for my attack. Now, when you're attacking, so let's move these guys down here for now, say it's a later round or whatever, and they're down here. So when you're doing attacking, well, actually it doesn't even matter where they are, but we'll leave them there. Anyway, when you're doing attacking, you're going to roll dice. So if I do this attack, I can roll a die here. I can have spent some of these to roll more dice, but I'll roll this die, and I'm going to look to see if I get a result. I got a miss. So let's say I do this one, and I can roll 2 dice, and I get some hits here. So I knock them around here, but so I got some hits here, but one of the more important things here too is that I also got a crit. So I look on here, and I gain a shield, and these shields are really important because they're going to help me out later in the game, but whatever damage I do, I'm going to apply to the monster here. Once I deal enough damage to the monster, it's removed, and I get whatever reward is on the left there for the monster. And the monsters will fight back, they'll also, and they deal damage. But when they deal damage, so after everyone's gone here, the monsters are going to fight back, and then we're going to do cleanup, which is just clean stuff up ready for the next round here. But, and go to a new location. But, and that's how this gets worse, because I have one round to deal with these monsters. I didn't deal with these monsters. We keep on moving. I get more monsters. So each round, so after I get my turn, another round is we go to a new location, we get more stuff. So you can see where it can get you overwhelmed. But anyhow, when you get these damage on here, you can take, absorb some of these damage with your shield or your evasion, but all the rest has to be handled through here. Now, if you ever get down to the bottom, you're going to lose the game. Also, on the cleanup, all of the tokens that you spent are going to go to the bag, with the exception of these special tokens, which are just going to go to your used column. And you can get those back from a couple different ways, but you don't just immediately get them back. You can save any tokens you want that you didn't spend, but keep in mind that you're only going to ever draw back up to 5. So the bag gets refilled with tokens. And then we're ready to go for the next one. So that's it. So basically, you're going to be gaining your rewards, getting your experience, doing all this fun stuff until you either meet your goal or one of your characters gets knocked out or overwhelmed by monsters. And then you're going to go back and rest and be able to purchase some more advanced tokens that you can put in here. And you can even use some of the money to remove tokens from there to increase the likelihood, or a basic token that you control, not any of the bad tokens that go in there, to increase the likelihood of getting specific tokens based on the characters that you have out. And after that, you're going to go either onto the new chapter, or you're going to have to repeat it because you were knocked out or got overwhelmed with monsters. And in a really quick nutshell, that's going to be how you're going to be playing this game. Now, there's a lot of other things in this game too. You're going to have some boss fights come in. You're going to have to face potentially some bosses in the game here. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of different levels. These are the easy level bosses that you could run into throughout the story. You're going to be able to create bonds between your characters. You're going to be able to level up your characters and get some of these cool abilities on your character stuff. And there's some stuff like glazed over, but in a real quick nutshell, that's going to be how you play. Let's go back up the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so that was the Children of Morta. Now, I didn't go over all the rules here. I just gave you a general idea of the flow of the game there, what happens. in the game itself. There's a lot that you're going to discover here in the story mode. The component quality for this game is through the roof. I'm going to knock everything aside, but I really love these dual layer boards here. These dual layer boards are amazing. They're really well done. I really love when companies do that. They didn't have to do that for this, but they did, and it really adds to the game there. I really like that, the fact that they did the dual layer boards. I really love this storyboard here, really well done. And overall, just component quality is phenomenal for the game, especially for, you get a lot of bang for your buck, let's say. So the gameplay itself is really engrossing. The story mode is where it's at. You can play this with a group of friends cooperatively, or you can play this solo by yourself and play through the game. There's a lot of replayability in the game too, because there's some randomness with the tokens and other things with pulling from the bag. So you can get a lot of value out of playing the game through the story mode again. And even if you're like, oh, I've been there, done that, and you don't want to go through the story mode again, there is the family trial mode, which has different ways that you can ramp that up. So there's a lot of replayability in this game. It's not like a normal legacy game or a campaign game, like once you finish the campaign, you're done with it. This has a good amount of replayability, which I really appreciate. And this is actually a really great game to get people into gaming, because it's cooperative. You can help them, teach them all the different sort of mechanics that they're not used to in a game, and in a setting where you're all having a shared goal and you all have a motivation to help each other. So I really like that for this game too. If you like campaign games, or you love the video game Children of Morta, you're going to probably really love this game. And this is definitely something that you're going to want to check out. Overall, I really like this game. I think this game is very well done. And has a lot of really cool moments in the game itself. And I really love the bag building mechanism, which is the core to all your actions and stuff in the game. Overall, really great hit. And that's my thoughts on it. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot, helps us get more content out to you all and that fun stuff. But either way, I hope you all have a great day, and thank you for watching.